Hi, my name is James, and I'd like to welcome you to My Layoff Journey. Hi, and welcome back to My Layoff Journey. My name is James, and I wanted to go through tonight with you a recap of the week of the initial Carnival C all-adult cruise. I've put out a couple of other videos, so you may have watched those, or you may want to go back and watch those. But I wanted to give a kind of an overview of how the week went. Initially, those first few hours, or the first 10 hours, I'll say, were a little hectic. Everyone was kind of finding their way to go and where they wanted to be, and there was some dinner issues. The times that people had chosen, if they chose my time or possibly any time, they had some changes there because Carnival offered an upgraded dining experience, they called it. Very well worth it. I hope that you're chosen to receive this if your cruise comes about, because it was very, very good. It was much better, I think, than the standard main dining room. But the main dining room is fine. But this was just something different that they offered, and like I said, we'll go through those menus in a moment. Everyone on board seemed to got along well. I didn't ever hear any kind of fussing or arguing or fighting, none of that. So all of you that say Carnival is not the ship for the non-fighting, well, this has been a great cruise, and I have talked to more people, I think, this time than I ever have on any other cruise. Everybody has just been really nice. And the other nice people on this cruise has been the staff. The staff on this ship has been probably the best staff that I've ever had on a Carnival cruise. Very, very nice. Went out of their way to mention you by name. The room steward, the dining folks over there, just perfect. I couldn't ask for any better. The parties. A lot of people were asking about what were the theme nights, and they were pretty much standard. I think you may have had one, maybe two different ones, but what those were, they had the 80s rock and glow party, which that's pretty much a standard. A lot of people showed up out there. The white hot night party, that was a good one. There's tons of people out there on the Lido deck, and they were just dancing their hearts out. You can see a lot of those people here. And then one day, they did have a synchronized swimming competition out there in the main pool on the Lido. So those were a lot of fun. I think that everybody really, really enjoyed those. For the dinners, let's get back to that. I'm going to show you some of these menus because they're very well worth attending. So one of the nights, it was just kind of a basic menu, but there were, I think, two formal nights on this cruise. This was a 9-night. There were two formal nights, and both of the formal nights had your basic main dining room menus. But throughout the rest of the week, we had things like this: American table, Alta Cucina Italiana, so a complete Italian menu. So that was really nice. Flavors of the Far East, so this was all Asian food. Oktoberfest, that was another good one. If you like German food, this was your night. So you can kind of see through these menus how they were a little bit different. They were more themed than just a standard offering. So this one here, you can also see steak night. So a lot of fun, a lot of good food. Like I said, the staff were superb. What they did do in the casino, that was a huge, huge question everywhere that I read. I think this is the only place where Carnival kind of fell down on it. In the offering, if you had the initial email, you would see that it said something about expanded gaming seats, that sort of thing. When I boarded, I walked to the casino, and I seen that there were some new machines that they were putting in. I don't know if those were replacements for older machines, but there are a lot of new machines, a lot of very popular machines that you'll have to choose from. In the last video, I did a walkthrough of the casino, so you can go back through and take a look, and you can see if you see the machine that you like to play. And if you do, perfect, because there's a really good variety, I think, in there. As far as tables, the tables were not extremely busy. They did add 4 tables just outside of the casino, going back towards the after the ship. So there were a few more tables, but none of the tables seemed to really be that crowded. What was crowded was the slot machines. So that first night, which is normally the case, you can't get a seat. There are no seats available, so you could have $10,000 in free play, but you were going to still have that the next morning because there were no seats available. As the night wore on, wee hours of the morning, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, started to kind of thin out a little bit. And by about 5 in the morning, you could kind of take your pick of most of the machines that you wanted to play. But again, the next day, 8 or 9 a.m., the machines were full. We did have 3 sea days on this first sailing. I apologize. We had 2 sea days on the way to our ports, 3 sea days on our way back. Now, on all of those sea days, the casino was full. There were no machines available. If you happen to get up to go to the restroom, I heard the story, I can tell you at least 5 times. A person went up, had to go to the restroom, asked somebody to watch their seat. They came back, their seat was taken. And some of the things that they left at their machine were gone. So beware of that. Keep all of your personal belongings on you. If you can find casino staff that will assist you in that. They can stand by your machine for 5 minutes, so you can go take care of your business if you need to, and come back. But that's not a very comfortable way. I don't think to go and enjoy yourself in the casino. So it's a little you'll have to make your own decision on that. If you go in there, there were people in there several hours before we left port to make sure that they had a machine that they wanted. So just beware of that. I think that was the biggest letdown for a lot of people, is because, like I mentioned, the initial offers that went out said that there were greater number of seats to gamble in. That does not, to me at least, did not seem to be the case. All of the slot machines are in the confines of the casino. There are none outside. There are no dining rooms. There are no anything else where there is a casino. Slot machines are in the casino. There are tables in the casino, and there are 4 additional tables right outside the casino near Java Blue going towards the rear of the ship. The other thing that they had that a lot of people were somewhat confused on was the VIP lounge, which was where Club O2 normally is. That is right next to Java Blue, also on the 5th floor, and that is right behind the casino. Now there is a VIP lounge, big signs out in front of it, and I covered that in an earlier video. I walked in just to ask, because there was no one there. I walked in to ask, what is this area for? And they said it was for invite only. Well, I was not invited, so of course I seen myself out. But each time that I went by there, I never seen anybody there. So I don't know if maybe on the next cruise they will expand that and possibly send out more invites. I don't know. But that was just, if you see somebody talking about a VIP lounge, maybe you'll get invited. Maybe it was just for Echo. I don't know. But that was really all the changes on the ship. Were the VIP lounge, the expanded tables, and the upgraded menus in the dining room. Other than that, it was a really standard type cruise with a lower, um, I won't say lower capacity. There were fewer people on board, and it was probably a little more than half capacity. I don't know if that'll be adjusted on the upcoming cruises, but uh, I think the number of people on here was about perfect. Um, like I said, those first couple of days, it was a little hectic. One, because of the dining changes. There were some people who were really angry about that because if they changed from a late or an early dining and they pushed them to anytime dining, it upset people because a lot of them wanted to have the same wait staff and possibly table mates so they can all make new friends and just be familiar with who their servers are. That all kind of passed. The people were not real happy with the payouts in the casino. I've talked to many, and it was, I mean, it's generally a losing proposition to go to a casino, but they did not have much luck. I myself had very little. I stayed maybe just below even, but I was there a limited amount of time. Free play. A lot of people have a lot of free play. There were some people had 200. Some people had none, but then some people had two, three, $4,000 of free play. So of course, those people were there for the long haul and playing on the casino money. But other than the casino, I think the rest of the cruise has been wonderful. It has been, like I said, people were great, staff was great. I think the ship is in pretty good shape considering some of the ships that I have been on in the past. I don't see that this is any worse for wear. I think it is on par with most other ships in the fleet that are this age. This is an older ship. This was in fact my first ship that I ever cruised on back in 2011, and it was a Thanksgiving cruise. And at that time, I thought to myself, I don't know if cruising is for me because it was Thanksgiving. It was packed. There were families everywhere. Of course, I brought my kids, but there were just so many people. But of course, as you could see, I did change my mind on that, and I'm so glad that I did because I enjoy going on Carnival, and I think the offers that they have been sending out to people that I've talked to have been getting really good offers, and they seem to really take care of the people that are loyal to them. Loyalty is going to be a whole other thing this coming year because of the changes to the loyalty program. Um, a lot of talk about that as well because there were a lot of gold members that if they do not make it to platinum, that they will go back to step one in the process of rewards. If you are a platinum or a diamond already, you'll maintain that for 2 years if you're platinum, 6 years if you're diamond. So that's kind of a whole nother video that's out there. There's been so much talk about that, but we're still 9 months away from that actual change. But coming to talk about some of those changes were the points in the casino. I did talk about this also on the last video, but I'll bring it up one more time. Your points that you're playing for in the casino, of course, those points are not really good for anything unless you're gaining those points in order to receive a comp. The way that it is working right now, you get points in the casino, but then every once in a while, it'll pop up on the little screen on your slot machine or video poker machine, and it'll say you have free play. It does not say at that point that you have fun play. It says free play. And to me, free play would mean like it used to, where you would sometimes get another $5 every so many spins, it seemed like, that you would have another $5 offer there for you. This would be an odd amount. You may have $3.17. It would be some amounts like that where you went into your casino wallet there and you would see promotional play there in the wallet, and you may have a strange amount, and you can convert that over and put that in your wallet to play with. Now, when you do that, that is you cashing in your points. So I did not think that these things were going to be in effect until next June, but and this maybe it's a trial on this ship, maybe it's already happening on some of the other ships, and you can let me know that in the comments. To where you still gain the points, you're cashing in those points for free play, and then once you do it, then it's called fun play. And your points then show in your hub app on your casino tab. It says total points earned, total points redeemed. So if you earned 5,000 points, then you would redeem $2.50. I believe that's the correct number, but it's a very low number that they're converting those points into free play, fun play. So if you're working up towards free steak dinner, maybe go to the steakhouse, sushi, cherry on top, anything like that, then you're going to want to not use your points in free play. And so just beware. Keep your points unless you're not planning on using them. I do think that some of the casino hosts were still coming around and offering steakhouse, that sort of thing. Now, what I don't know, because I heard them, what I don't know is if that person that they were offering it to had used their points. Maybe they gained enough points in order to pay for that, and that would come off of their points. That would be a redemption. So some of that's still to be found out, and I'll be watching on the next sailing, see if there's any changes there, and kind of what the accumulation is and the points versus money conversion is. So casino is a whole nother thing. It's a thing unto itself. But as far as everything else, it was still a good experience in the casino. Everyone was pretty nice. There were people that you knew were not to be pushed away from a machine, because there were some moments to where I think you knew I just assume walk away. I'm not going to argue or cause a bicker about a slot machine. It's going to be there tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So have patience in the casino with one another, and I think you're all going to do great. The dinners, like I said, we went through those menus. Those are really good. Those are some of the biggest things I think that we really, what do we cruise for? We come, we eat some food, we gamble, we watch some shows. There's not too much on the shows. I didn't see a show this time. Someone mentioned that there was a hypnotist, but most times it's seen in the theater was bingo. So there is a lot of bingo going on. Some big games, different types of games. So if you're a bingo player and you're coming on a bingo offer, I know some have, then that's going to be probably pretty exciting for you. If you come on an elite offer, they're going to have gifts for you. So as far as gifts, these are the gifts that I had received on this cruise, and it was actually very, very nice. And like I mentioned, this was on an elite offer. There was not a standard elite drink choice. So normally on an elite cruise, they will reach out to you, ask what alcohol that you would like, what mixer that you would like, and a few things about transportation. On this cruise, you received a bottle of alcohol that they had chosen. It was kind of a commemorative bottle. You can see it there. It's a bottle of tequila, Don Julio Reposado, and it's got a nice label on it that says Carnival Conquest and with the sailing date. So that was very nice. A few other gifts throughout the week, little carry-on bag, some snacks, cookies, shot glasses, and the door plaque that you can see there in the front. Other than that, as far as the gifts, not everyone will receive them. If you are on an elite offer, you will receive them. On the first day that you come on, if you come on an elite offer, you'll either have the card that tells you that you have the upgraded dining experience or not. And because I didn't really get any kind of firm information on who was offered that. There was talk about that the casino made that offer based on anticipated play. So maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. Depends what you've gambled in the past. Regardless of what level that you are, whether it's red, blue, gold, platinum, diamond, so you may or may not receive that offer. But I hope that you do, because it's awesome. At any rate, I hope that this video kind of wraps up. I'm trying to think if we've lost anything here while we've been talking. So we've covered the dining menus, we've covered the casino, we've covered how great the staff has been, we've covered how nice the people have been. If you are a smoker in the casino, the smoking area is about a third of the casino, where the non-smoking has seemed to be expanded. So about 2/3 of the casino, I would say at least 2/3 of the casino is non-smoking. So if you are a smoker, you will definitely have a harder time finding a machine. So just wanted to kind of bring that up, because I know that there are a lot of people that go to the casino to smoke and play and drink. So bar, that's another thing. The bars, speaking of drinking, all of the staff there have been excellent. They were extremely crowded that first 2 days, which is normally the case anyhow. Anytime that cruise first starts, especially on an extended sailing like this, 9-day, everybody is working to get those drinks in. If they have bought the package, they want to make sure that they get those drinks in. So it was very crowded, but there were plenty of bars open and plenty of staff to accommodate you. This is probably the fastest also in the casino that I have seen drinks come around to people. It was very, very quick. I think they did add additional staff for that. I think that was also mentioned in one of the offer letters that they had sent out. Real quick about transportation. If you are on an elite offer, now if you're Echo, that may be something completely different. I think they did offer parking for that one. If you're on an elite offer that they had sent out, it is a little bit of a different elite offer. And I talked about that again in the previous video. But the transportation was strictly from the airports. It was Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then there was one other airport that transportation was available from. It was from that driven company, and because when I first went to the person at the Carnival desk inside the Miami airport, they told me, no, that's not the right place. So I kind of thought it was going to be the standard Carnival shuttle, but it wasn't. It was a chartered shuttle. So they'll send you down. If you come in the day before, they will not pick you up at your hotel. It is only from the airport, and parking was not included or even offered in the offer I received. So just know that before you head out. And it was probably the 3 days before I came, before I received a text message asking me to set up my transportation. And he'd asked what my flight was coming in. People said that if they had flown in the night before and they put that flight number in, it was immediately rejected because they were not going to go to hotels, and your flight had to really be that morning. So it kind of took a lot of people out of the mix that used the transportation. Many people used an Uber from their local hotel. So again, I think we've covered just about everything for the week. The best thing about this cruise has just been the staff. Again, I can't express that enough. They have been excellent. My steward, super nice every single time. A couple of days I said, don't worry about cleaning my room. Well, he didn't like, he wanted to come and just take care of it, but I said, no, don't worry about it. But he left my animals throughout the week, so I ended up with a whole litter of animals on my sofa back there. But if you come, just enjoy yourself, take it easy, get past that first or second day. I think your dining will work out well for you, because I'm thinking possibly that this upcoming cruise starting tomorrow, that they're going to have a lot of that dining sorted out, and won't upset too many people. At any rate, I hope this video helped you a lot. There are 3 more cruises on the sea, all adult, and then I know that there are at least 2 ACES cruises next month on the Magic. And then there were some additional offers that were sent out for sea cruises that are coming up, I believe, in February. So take a look at your offers. If you have one, I highly recommend you take one. At least consider it. It's just been a great time. Hopefully, like I said, this has helped you, and I appreciate you watching My Layoff Journey. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next port.